everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I've revisited the star explosion card that I made. It was either before last Christmas or the Christmas before. It was a tutorial I did with my nan, and we made a 6x6 version of this card. And I thought it'd be nice to revisit and do it in a 5x7 size. So this is how it looks. This is the one that I'm going to show you how to make today. This one here I made during a Facebook Live. So this all folds down into 5x7 size, and you've got your belly band there on the top. And then when they open it, it will all pop out. And it stands really nicely. You've got space on the back there to write your message. This one here, I've done all of the panels. And again, all folds down like so. And this one, I've got a similar belly band. I'll show you all of the supplies that I've used, but you can see how that looks when it's all together. And then again, how it just pops out. It's a really, really simple fold. You don't need any specialty dies for this. I've used dies for the butterfly because that's the decoration. But to make the actual card itself, you don't need any dies at all. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So I'm using the papers from the Frida Kahlo 8x8 paper pad. They're really lovely florals and they're nice for fussy cutting as well. But there's also washi pack and ephemera that you can get. And then for the belly band, I'm using this new, it's part of the Perfect Gatefolds release. And they've got these belly bands. So I've just cut the scallop one there, but I'll show you that in a bit more detail. So you'll want 2 pieces of cardstock. This piece here is the main card. So this is 10x7. Along the 10-inch side, you want to score at 2.5, 5, and 7.5. If you just flip that and score the 5 again, you want to then fold in the sides. So they're, you know, those score lines are the correct way for you to fold it in. And then that center fold, you're going to create a mountain fold. So you should have an M shape. Okay. Then you'll want this piece here. I recommend like a 220, something a bit softer for the kind of the star pop-up in the middle, because you've got a lot of folds all folding on top of each other. If you go for like a heavy 300 GSM, it's just going to be very bulky, and you'll find that this will struggle to kind of wrap around it, so you'll probably have a gap in the middle. So this is again a similar weight to this one here. This is the Sizzix cardstock, I think. So again, along the 10-inch side, you're going to do the same scoring. So 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Okay, so now what you want to look at this so that you've got a 5x5 square this side and a 5x5 square this side. We're then going to score across those 2 squares. So just at the minute, just focus on the middle score line and these 2 separate kind of squares. I'm going to score from the top left down to the bottom of that center score line, and then from the top of that score line down to the bottom left. So I always like to pop the stylus down first and then lay the ruler down like so, and then again from the top here. So now you'll see that cross through the center, and then again, so I'm going to go from the top left, or from the top of the middle score line down to the bottom right, and then again from the top right down to the bottom like so. Make sure you get everything lined up because you want to have nice points with this. This one here, you want to fold your main score lines so they're all mountain folds. So you've just got something like that. And then the crosses all need to become valley folds. So just make sure you get the points all lined up. And you'll see already how we've got that shape. So again, on this side, and then just kind of work it in a little bit more. Just be careful on the top there. That needs to, you want that to kind of fold down on the ends there. Give that a good burnish, and there's your star explosion, and that's going to now sit in the middle here. So there's a few ways to decorate this. You can, if you see on this one here, these are actually individual little matte layers, or you can do 4 full panels. So if you want to just stick pattern paper on those 4 panels, you'll want 4 pieces of 2.25 by 6 3/4. If you want to do individual, like I've done here, then you want to cut yourself a piece of 2.25 by 3. And on, you know, any of the corners, it doesn't matter, because this is going to be a template. Just mark down 3/4 inch, or mark up. Like I said, it doesn't matter, but you're coming down the long side, okay? So 3/4 inch, and then from that marker you're going to cut across to the opposite, down to the opposite corner, and now you've got this template, and then you'll be able to use this template to draw around your pattern paper and then just flip it so you get the right orientation. But you'll see how that sits now in all of those areas there. Or just cut yourself 8 pieces of 2 1/4 by 3 and just mark down on each of them, and then make sure you cut them in the right direction. I'm going to leave this one completely plain, and I'm just going to stick this on here and have just all the pattern paper and the topper popping out there. So I'm going to stick the middle down first. Actually, before I stick it down, you might want to just cut a little bit, just like a hair off of each of the end sides here. Like so, because when the gatefold has to wrap around this, it will sometimes like push this out as it folds around. So just do a little test. You can kind of get everything laid down there. Obviously you're going to see probably a little bit of mine because I've got a contrasting colour, whereas with this one, when this all folds flat, it's all the same colour, so you don't really see it. So that's something some of you might not like, that you can see a little bit of the other colour coming through. So I'm going to now add my glue all over like so, and then you want to have 1 inch at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to place that down, and it looks about right. Yeah, happy with that. So just fold that over, just make sure the points are right on that score line there, so it's easy for it to kind of shift. So just fold that down, and then fold one side in, add the glue. You want to make sure that this is nice and parallel with the edge of the card there, and you should have just a tiny little gap because you've cut a little bit away. And just fold that one down and make sure everything's straight. And just make sure that you push the points right into the folds here. Okay, so when I fold that down, there's a little bit of the white that you can see, but I'm not too worried about that. So you're going to want to cut yourself 2 pieces of 3 by 3 and cut right down through the middle on the diagonal. And then you'll want to cut yourself 4 pieces of 2 by 2. And again, cut on the diagonal. I've also then cut myself 4 pieces, 2 for the front of the gatefold in this wood grain paper, and then 2 just in plain for the back so I can write my message. These are all 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. Those panels are the same size as the 4 that I mentioned earlier if you covered these ones. So I'm going to get all of that stuck down. Okay, so that's everything stuck down. Also, you can cover inside here, but because it's white, I think it stands out enough against the green. But you could also, add some pattern paper in there. You can see I've got the floral design in that one there. You'll then, if you want to have the topper popping out, like I've shown on this one, just cut yourself a piece of 3 by 1 inch card. And along the 3 inch side, you want to score at 1/2 inch, 1, 2 and 2 1/2. And then you want to create a valley fold, a mountain fold, and then a mountain and a valley. So you want something that looks like that. So it's a little spring, okay? And I'm just going to add a little glue to each of the tabs there. And when these sit together like this, the center, you want that to go over the fold here. So if you just kind of drop one side down, I'll lift it up and show you. You want this in the middle. I'll just show there. Can you see how it's just sitting up to the fold there? And then if I just fold that all down flat, like so, when that opens, can you see how that pops up? So you just want the panels to sit either side of the fold there. And then I've cut this butterfly, which is from an old Bright Rosa set, and I thought about just having it on there like so, but I'm not sure I like the square, so I'm going to add it to the circle so I think it pops even more, and it still all kind of blends in there. So I'm just going to add some glue on there, and then whatever you're adding on top, just lay it on there when it's flat, and just make sure that you've got it in the center there, so you can move this around like so. And then I'm going to add a little glue, just lift up the sides there. And I can just place the butterfly down. Again, you want to make sure that whatever you've got on here sits nicely within that space, because you don't want the wings of the butterfly like catching. There we go. And then my sentiment is just because, and I've just popped it up on a little bit of foam. I'm just going to sit that through the centre there of the butterfly, like so. I think that looks so sweet. And then for the belly band, so I've taken the largest die, which is the scallop one. So you get these two. You also get these ones as well, but I mean, you can use them, but I don't think you need to. They've got the score lines for, I think, 6x6 and 5x7. But I just always wrap my belly bands anyway, so they're there if you want that guide. And then you get these, you get the large oval. So that's the one that I've just cut there. And then you get the hello, love, congrats and thanks. And you get this like rectangle as well. But they're actually really big sentiments. I didn't realise just how big they were when I got this. I mean, you can look at the love there. It's huge. And the hello. So they are really nice, big, you know, toppers, but also great for inside of the cards as well. And then the thanks and congrats are a bit smaller, but they fit. Not all of them fit in the same one, but like the hello, the congrats, thanks all fit in there. And I think the love as well. And then I think this one, the ovals, just the thanks and the congrats fit in that one. But I'm just going to add another butterfly on top of my one there. So it's quite nice because usually I just do plain, you know, straight belly bands. So it's quite nice to have a bit of shape to it. So just fold that all down. See the pattern paper on the front there. And then I'm just going to sit this. So I've got equal amounts on each side, and I'm just going to wrap that around like so. Add a little glue just to kind of tack it in place. You can see it's nice and neat, joins up really well, like kind of follows, you know, the pattern. And then I'm going to have the oval with another butterfly on the top there, and I might put a couple of embellishments either side. So I'm just going to run some glue right down through the middle there. And then I think I'm going to add 2 of these embellishments either side. I won't add a sentiment on the front. I'm just going to keep it plain. So that's everything now all stuck down. It's still drying a little bit. And you can see the butterfly pop up. I love both of them. You see them side by side there. So whether you add all the pattern paper on the back or you just keep it plain, you might even have pattern card for this back piece, and you know, have this all plain card with just a really nice topper as the focus. There's so many different ways to decorate. So do check out those other 2 tutorials that I mentioned, because they do give you a few other ideas. And like I said, if you prefer the 6x6 size, then you'll see that one there as well. I will try and link as much of the product that I've used in the description box below. The tutorials I'll probably have linked coming up now as well, so you might just want to click on them and watch those next. If you've enjoyed today, give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done so as well, and make sure you click on the notification bell, and that way you won't miss out on any future videos. See you all again soon. Bye.